the scariest movie I've ever watched. Shout out to Derek FDB, one of my favorite YouTubers. Watch him all the time. And then this video is about The Truman Show. If you guys haven't watched it, it's a very good movie, and I could get why someone calls it the scariest movie of all time. So lock in.
Told you the scariest movie I ever watched wasn't a horror movie at all. It wasn't the movie that haunted me as a kid or even the one that scarred me as an adult. Instead, it was a movie that's a little out of the ordinary.
Good morning!
But why? How did such an innocent looking movie scare me so much? Well, I'ma show you. Today, I'ma go over The Truman Show. My goal by the end of this video, to help you truly understand why it's the scariest movie I've ever watched. I ain't gonna be alone in this. And what better place to start than at the very beginning? We open up the movie with our very ordinary main character, Truman Burbank, talking to himself in the mirror, as ordinary people do. And Truman is just your average Joe. He actually might be better than one. He wakes up in a jolly mood, greets his neighbors with a big smile on his face, holds the door for people at work. I mean, it's Jim Carrey.
Okay, I get people have routines, but like at the same time, no one wakes up like that, waves to the neighbors, gets their mail, and has the exact routine just like that every day. I guess in this scenario, he's been like coddled to do this. It's like he probably wouldn't know, because I'm pretty sure, I mean, the way they portray it, that he's been like this his whole life. So I guess it would be different. But I mean, at the same time, nobody wakes up jolly like that. Like nobody does that. That's straight bullcrap.
How can you not like him? He's just a good guy surrounded by good people in a very
Dude, Truman
nice,
has aura.
town.
I would love to be
That's how it
Truman.
seemed at first. Until one day, while going about his regular routine, you know, greeting his neighbors, greeting the dog, Truman hears something coming from the sky. Then a loud crash on the road right next to him. He goes to investigate, and it's some sort of studio light. I'm sure it's nothing. After that silly little incident, we see Truman go about his day.
Dude, if a studio light just falls, I'd be so confused. Like, what the heck? That'd be the most random thing.
And go to work. And see, even the radio conveniently said it was nothing. It was just some plain cargo that fell out the sky. See, I told y'all it was nothing to
It's a
worry
valid
about.
excuse, not gonna lie.
Just plain cargo. And while Truman is on the way to work, there's when you get a really good look at the town that Truman lives in, Sea Haven. And I see why it's considered a haven, because it looks great. Freshly cut grass, no heavy traffic in sight, no dog boo.
Dude, have y'all ever been to Mackinac Island in Michigan? It looks just like this. Like I used to always, cause like I've seen this movie like a lot, but like I went to Mackinac Island. It looks just like this place. So like I used to think there's no way a town looks just like this and you ain't suspicious. But like I could see why.
Crackhead. Wah. It's perfect. A little too perfect. After picking up a magazine and a conversation with these kind of aggressive twins. Alright bro, you don't gotta push me. We can stop and talk, just ask. We see Truman at work. And after some dude shows Truman a newspaper saying their town is the best place on earth. Yeah, okay buddy, I said it's perfect, but not that perfect. We see Truman on the phone with someone asking for a lady named Lauren Garland or Sylvia Garland. Wait, I don't think that's his wife's name. When Truman is interrupted by his manager, who tells him
I never understood why he just asked that randomly.
Which may seem like it's, you know, whatever. But we see Truman is hesitant to do this job. Why, you may ask? Well, it's because Truman, like some of you probably watching this, is scared of the ocean. And not like, oh, I'm scared to go into deep water, or oh, I'm scared a shark gonna take a chunk off my butt. No. This is like me and dolls, woman and Axe body spray wearers, rod wave and a salad. Truman is not even comfortable going near it. He won't travel on it, won't stand on structures built over it, and he's definitely not dipping his toes in. Nada. And again, you might be wondering, why? Why is he so afraid? Well, we get our answer that very same day, when later at night, after a convo with his best friend Marlon about leaving Sea Haven to go to Fiji. Really? Fiji? You don't want to weigh your options? Maybe Greece, Japan? I don't know. At least Detroit got the
Fiji was so random.
I'm going there before I get up and leave to Fiji. What's in Fiji? We see Truman sitting by the beach, reminiscing. Dang, that moon's really detailed. Reminiscing about what, you may ask? Well, his fear of the ocean. It turns out the reason Truman is terrified of it is not because the ocean almost drowned him or held his family for ransom or anything like that. It's because one day during a boating trip with his dad, Truman and him got caught in a powerful storm. So powerful that it knocked Truman's dad off the boat, and his dad didn't make it. So that's why Truman fears the ocean so much that he refuses to travel on it, even if it's for work. Yeah, I mean, You win some, you lose some? And while Truman is dramatically sitting on the beach, out of nowhere, another weird occurrence happens. When it starts raining, but only on Truman. What the? Eventually it starts raining around him, but I'm sure at this
That can happen though in real life. Like I've seen these videos where it can just rain in one spot because like only one cloud has rain or something. I'm pretty sure that's a thing. I could be wrong on that.
point, you can see there's some weird stuff going on in this perfect town Truman lives. And it only becomes...
Yeah, but what I don't understand is, I know it's for just the movie and like I'd be thinking way too deep into movies, but like why would these weird occurrences just now start to happen? I guess him getting older, he probably recognizes them more. But like, I don't know, to pull this off in general, for a team to pull off what they do to him, I'm not really gonna try and spoil much. I'll let Derek do the talking. But for a team to pull off what they do in this movie, for how was he, like 27? That would be so insanely hard. That's straight dedication at that point.
Truman sits down with his wife Meryl and tries to convince her to come with him. They can leave together, explore the world. But Meryl tells him, no Truman, we have bills to pay, a whole life here. We can't...
Dude, if I'm gonna be in a fake world, at least don't give me some woman that's chopped.
It all behind, and I thought we were gonna try for a baby. Boring. I don't want no baby. I want to go to somewhere spontaneous, like O Block or something. After Meryl turning down Truman's idea, we cut to the next day, and this is when stuff gets really weird. We again see Truman do his normal routine, you know, say hello to the neighbor, drives to work, picks up his magazine, all that stuff. But as Truman is heading into work this time, out of nowhere in this crackhead-free town, he sees what looks like a crackhead, or at least a meth head, right in the middle of this busy street. And to those of you who don't deal with these kind of people often, don't worry, they're harmless. Most of the time. So the weird part isn't that people are ignoring him. That's normal. I do it all the time. The weird part is when Truman gets close to the crackhead and realizes it's his dad. Then out of nowhere, while Truman's trying to figure out what the heck is going on, these two people drag the man away. Truman chases after them, but after a bunch of convenient obstacles get in his way, a bus takes his potential father away. This combo with all the weird stuff happening lately, yeah, Truman had questions. So he goes to the one person we all go to when we need answers, our mama. Truman tells his mom that he saw his dad dressed on the street as a homeless dude for some reason, and his mama tells him, oh Truman, you tripping. Your daddy ain't homeless. He ain't even alive. Truman tells her it was him. I know it was. But she tells him, look, Truman,
but like, why would his dad just like randomly show up?
That may or may not have been your fault.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
Like, that wouldn't make
Truman. I don't
sense.
judge
It's been that
you. But
long.
it was too late. Not even the words of his mama could stop what was building in Truman at this point. A suspicion of the world around him. Once Truman gets home, we learn these events aren't the first time weird occurrences like this have happened to him. You see, something even weirder happened to him back in his more youthful days. We get a flashback to Truman in high school when he was a part of the band. I was more of an art class kind of guy myself.
Oh, it does show
but
what
band
happened
did
when he's
seem
younger.
fun. Never theater though.
I completely forgot about that.
And as you can tell,
Dude,
he does
I would never be a theater kid. That is so true. Theater kids are straight weird, dude. Oh my gosh. They are, oh yo, they're just so dumb. And no offense to people who are in theater, but oh my gosh, pick something else, dude. You are dumb. You're just weird. I dated somebody who was a theater kid. Oh my gosh, dude.
does not look like a high schooler. Man, I thought Euphoria and Grease high schoolers looked older.
Dude, yeah, what's up with like Euphoria? That came out recently, so I don't know what they were thinking. But like, what is it with like movies from the 80s to 2000s with like high schoolers being in their freaking 30s? Like, I mean, dude, especially like Spider-Man, like with the ones with Tobey Maguire, he was like 28 and he was playing a freaking 17-year-old.
Marlon, we
Like,
see
what
what's
was up with that?
supposed to be a young Truman.
Most of the time they
locked eyes
did
with this
play it
girl
off
who was
well.
Staring at him. And not to brag, but I received this look plenty of times. So when I first saw this, I knew it was love at first sight. Oh, you think I'm lying?
Oh, for sure.
Still love at first sight though. While Truman and this mystery girl are making out with their eyes, they're interrupted by Truman's future wife.
Dude, she gets on my nerves so bad.
But that was only
I
the
forget
start
her
of
name.
Truman's connection with this mysterious girl. We then cut to Truman's prom. Come on, bro. They're not even trying to hide it. This dude in the back is balding.
Yeah,
He sees a
that's
familiar
rough.
bracelet. It's the mystery girl again. But instead of this time her magically vanishing when Truman gets distracted, she gets taken away by some, I don't know, some random security from the prom? Come on, bro. That's just jealousy. But don't worry. Truman runs into this mysterious lady one more time in the library, where he finds out her name is no other than Lauren Garland. Yeah, the lady.
Oh, that's
Truman
how he
was asking
figures
for
out her
earlier on
name.
the phone. This is her. But why was he asking for her? What happened to her? What was the weirder thing that happens in this flashback? Can you stop asking so many questions? I'm getting to that. Lauren tells Truman they shouldn't be speaking. Forbidden love. Truman asks, why? Oh, you have a boyfriend. That's where it is. Or was it that girl you saw me at the dance with? Oh, come on. That's Meryl.
Meryl, yeah, what a dumb name.
She's just kind of.
Gosh, she's annoying.
And before Truman can continue questioning, Lauren tells him they should go to the beach now, which probably had Truman thinking he was about to go skinny dipping or something. So he agrees. They arrive at the beach, and after
Truman, you're married, brother.
Y'all, wait. Who will be here? And she tells Truman his whole reality is fake. They know everything he does at all times. Everyone is pretending. And her name isn't even Lauren. It's Sylvia. Like Sylvia Garland. Someone goes to get Sylvia, claiming to be her father and saying she has schizophrenia. But Sylvia persists, saying everything's fake. The sand, the sun, the moon. I knew it was too detailed. I knew it. Truman in his confusion asks her dad where they're going. And he says, Fiji. It was mind-blowing on the first watch. Cause this is when we realized the crazy possibility that Truman doesn't love his wife at all. And also the world
I wouldn't
he
love
lives
her.
in might be fake. Either way, all these weird occurrences reminded Truman of Sylvia and made him even more suspicious of the world around him. Suddenly he starts noticing even more things. The radio malfunctioning and picking up what sounds like someone announcing his exact location. Newspapers conveniently talking
Now
about
that
the
would be
homelessness
trippy.
issue in the city after he saw that crackhead. And craziest of all, cars stopping for him in
Dude,
traffic.
this moment's like a really like famous clip. Like you'll see like the TikTok edits and stuff like that, dude. Honestly, if I start figuring out that like the world's revolving around me, or I figure out that like the world around me is fake, you can do some main character stuff. He starts stepping into the streets, just stopping the cars with his hand. But at that point, I'm gonna mess around for a good week. Dude, I'm the main character. I can do what I want, and the world revolves around me. I'm at least going to enjoy it for like a week, and then I'll find a way to escape. But oh my gosh.
Actually, Truman, I think that last one happens regardless. Truman's suspicion was at an all-time high. He even switches routes to see how the people in town will react, discovering what looks like to be a set. Truman was spiraling. So he
Yeah, that's
decides to
smart.
go to
Just
someone else
mess
he
up
could
your
always talk
routine.
to, his
You'll start
best
figuring
friend,
stuff
Marlon.
out.
They say and watch the sunset as Truman expresses all his concerns, and he asks Marlon how traveling outside of Sea Haven was. And Marlon tells him he went all over the world, but nothing was like this place.
Yeah,
See,
bullcrap.
again with the cap. I haven't seen a single Italian spa, Mediterranean spa, Mexican spa, and y'all trying to tell me you have the title for the best place in the world? Yeah, right, buddy. Burger and fries can't hold you up for that long. We then also see Truman spending time with some more people he actually trusts, his mom and his wife. They're going through their photo albums together, you know, baby photos, childhood photos, wedding photos. And this scene is adorable. I used to love doing this with my mom back in the day.
I never did stuff like that. I mean, I'm sure I did, but like didn't do it consistently.
Makes Truman think, you know what? Maybe he was tripping. Maybe instead of worrying about trying to go to Fiji, he should just appreciate what he has.
Gosh, what's
here
up with
in
the whole
Sea
Fiji
Haven.
crap?
That's nice. At least that is what he felt for a moment. Until Truman looked over at the wedding photo with his wife and noticed her fingers were crossed. Yeah.
Is that like a big thing? If you cross your fingers, your marriage doesn't even count? Or something like that? I'm gonna look that up. What does it mean if you cross your fingers while getting married? Crossing your fingers is a gesture similar to hope and love. Then why'd they put that in there? Like, what the heck? That don't even make sense.
I said Truman's suspicion were at an all-time high before. This brought it to a whole new level. He started questioning where his wife even goes when she goes to work. He starts noticing patterns in the neighborhood. The same man, same woman, same car going around the block over and over and over again. This was the final straw. Truman knew he had to leave for Fiji. But when he gets to the travel agent, she conveniently tells him everything is sold out. Then when he goes to take the bus out of town, the bus breaks down. Y'all see what it's like, right? After realizing he's out of options, he takes things into his own hands. One afternoon, while showing Meryl the patterns he's been witnessing these last few days, he decides, you know what? Let's go to Fiji right now! Locks the car and starts driving. Is this kidnapping or would it be considered romantic because they're married? Truman takes Meryl on a joyride, and I can't lie, Truman looks like he has lost his mind. Thought he was about to start tweeting, but he didn't. Truman was more sharp and perceptive than
ever. A little bit of CTE.
All of a sudden, now that he's trying to leave, there's a traffic jam. How convenient. So Truman decides, you know what? Let's just go home. Psych! Truman fooled him. Now the road was clear, and there was nothing to stop him. Truman drove nearly all the way out of town until the ocean. Truman and Meryl stare at this bridge, and Meryl tells Truman, "Let's go home. You know you can't drive
Dude,
over
there's
water."
no way you're gonna get
Meryl,
that scared of
"Yes,
the ocean to
Truman?
where you can't drive
You got
over a
this."
bridge.
Truman closes his eyes and makes Meryl drive the car through the bridge by herself, and somehow they make it. They're out of the town.
That's crazy work.
Truman has finally left that weird place. But a few minutes into their drive, after we see Meryl complain about the whole idea, your mother won't like this one bit, Truman. Truman and Meryl are stopped by the authorities. Don't worry, they're not in trouble. Look at them. There was apparently a leak at this power plant, and Truman asked the officer if there's any possible way for them to go around. The officer tells them, nah. Truman says, well, thanks for the help anyways. And the officer says, you're welcome. Truman? He said his name. How would he know his name? Truman starts freaking out and attempts to run away on foot. But alas, there was too many of them. So they captured Truman and sent him home. Truman back at home is on the
That's
brink
crazy.
of collapse. He starts asking
Now at that
Meryl why
point,
she
I'm
wants
realizing
to have a kid
something's
with him.
up.
She clearly can't stand him. And Meryl gives the response I think any loving wife would give in this situation. She starts doing an ad placement. Truman is confused, but Meryl just keeps talking about some Makoko drink made from cocoa beans all the way from
See, I mean, she's obviously an annoying hag, but like my wife starts pulling out some advertisement like that. Oh my gosh, I might just call for a divorce right there. That gets on my nerves. And like she's tweaking. I mean, look at her. She's tweaking, clearly tweaking.
Nicaragua. Truman loses it. He starts pressing Meryl,
Yeah, I'd lose it
asking her
too.
what's happening, and convinces himself that she's a part of this. Meryl grabs some silver and threatens to use it against Truman.
Dude, what are you gonna do with that? That's the most bum weapon you could have grabbed.
But Truman
Literally,
turns
what are you
on her.
gonna do?
In her panic, Meryl screams up to the sky, "Do something!" This confuses Truman even more, making him question even more, making him press her even more. But before things
my
escalate
gosh.
even further,
He's
here's someone
tweaking.
at their door. Hey, it's our boy Marlon with a few cold ones. Bad time? Truman and Marlon.
Yo, how would your friend not be tweaking if you're holding your wife at knife point, dude? Like, what the heck?
Fine. He feels like the world revolves around him. Oh, but when I told my therapist that, he just called me a narcissist. Marlon starts telling Truman all this sentimental stuff about how they used to cheat off each other's papers and how he's like a brother to him. And Marlon tells him if he thinks everyone is in on this big lie, wouldn't he have to be in on it too? And this right here, these words, they did something to Truman. I'll explain in a second what I mean, because Truman and Marlon's chit-chat wasn't over yet. Marlon tells Truman there's a reason he stopped by his crib tonight. And then, that's when we see it. The crackhead from earlier, who was actually Truman's dad. And at this point, ladies and gentlemen, Truman was sure. With what Marlon said a second ago, and now this, his father magically coming back to life, Truman was 1000% sure about what most of you guys are thinking right now. Truman is in a TV show. Yes,
Yeah, there it is.
It's true. That's the whole
There
thing
it
that
is.
scares me with this movie. We learned from the creator of the show, Christoph, that Truman's life has been being broadcasted since he was a baby. Actually, even before that. Because Truman was also broadcasted when he was in the womb. Meaning
That's
he's
crazy.
This man Truman doing subathons since he was a zygote. This would be absolutely
Yeah, 30
terrifying.
years, that's even worse.
Imagine your mom, your dad, your siblings, your friends, bro, even your dog or cat, all of them, just actors. They don't care about you. When your dog
Yeah,
would
for
come
real.
to lick you or your cat would come to snuggle his head on you, he doesn't care. He's just trying to get his next check. But it doesn't end there. This whole you in a TV show thing also means your whole life, the one you are living right now, has been orchestrated. Planned out. All those times people roasted you, your first heartbreak, even that one job you took that summer that you absolutely hated, was really just a group of people in a writer's room like,
James, wouldn't it be funny if we made it so Derek has like a horrible accident when he's young and he's forced to get braces?
Yeah, no, that's
I
crazy.
know.
I mean, they're
You know, we can
scripting
make
your
a
whole
family.
life.
that's literally how the show works. And the main man running the show is Christoph. We see him doing a Q&A, you know,
What a
the
goon,
old school
Christoph.
calling and asking questions, things like they used to do on the radio. And we learned this show is extremely popular. Like, forget Kai and Speed for a second. This dude Truman is the biggest streamer on earth. He even got people in Japan watching, which is another scary thing. Not the fact that they're Japanese, that's okay. Imagine 1.5 billion people. No, wait, we don't gotta do that many. Imagine just 30 people, the size of a classroom, watching you day by day, week by week, year over year. All your good moments, your bad moments, and scariest of all, the moments you're doing something you would even want your mama see. Yeah. Truman's puberty
Yeah,
arc
that'd be
must have been
tough.
real
Like, I mean, do they
awkward.
broadcast
Christoph
everything? Is
still
this show
answering
like
incoming
TVMA?
calls. When we see him get a
Like, I
call
mean, do
from
they
someone
broadcast
it's
everything?
Sylvia, who we find out the whole time was actually an activist trying to free Truman from the show. Christoph tells
Oh
him he
shoot!
actually
So like
went-
everyone knows that Truman's in a fake reality, and he doesn't know it. And there's like activists against it. Yeah, that I would assume the cops would be on that, but like I don't know. There's a lot of corrupt stuff, so who knows? There's a lot of contracts in there.
Truman live a normal life and that the real world is the sick place. Well, he is right about the real world being sick. Did y'all see they said GTA 6 might be $100? Like, what? He also tells Sylvia Truman can leave whenever he wants and that she's just mad that he prefers his cage. Right.
Yeah,
Sylvia
no, that's
hangs
crazy.
up saying that Truman's gonna prove him wrong, and then we cut to
Dude, Sylvia's bad. Like, I mean, way better than, what's her name, Meryl? Like, what a, oh my gosh. That sounds like something a 7th grader would name as Goldfish. Holy crap.
the father thing worked. Truman's back to normal. He does his routine, goes to work. They even introduced a new love interest for him. Truman divorce arc coming soon. But when Truman gets home,
tough.
he makes an interesting decision. He decides to sleep in the basement. And Christoph notices this and tells the guy monitoring Truman to zoom in and isolate the audio. Ain't this the 90s? What kind of Spy Kids technology is this? They hear Truman snoring, but that wasn't enough for Christoph, so he sends over Marlin. And when Marlin gets there, he discovers Truman is missing. The town immediately goes into high alert panic mode. They check every camera, pull out every main character, side character, and extra. They even brought out the
Dude,
sun.
Truman
Still,
was
they couldn't
moving.
find Truman. Side
Absolutely
note, I told you about them
moving.
dogs. Dude went from super sweet to looking like Sonic Unleashed. Christoph was panicking until he realized they weren't looking everywhere. They were missing one spot. One spot they never ever expected Truman to go. The ocean. And that's exactly where he was. On
You
a
gotta get
boat,
out.
sailing away to finally
Gotta
leave
get out of the
sea.
gulag
But
somehow.
Christoph wasn't about to let that happen. Like something straight out of Hunger Games, he calls for this dude to cast a storm over Truman's boat. But Truman is resilient, so he holds on.
Dude, but like
Christoph-
I'd be worried about killing him. He's your main actor and the whole reason you're even making money and through your TV show. Like I would not be trying to do that.
though. Christoph, he's even more stubborn. He strikes Truman's boat with lightning over and over and over.
Dude, what type of
again, but
technology
Truman
is
still
this?
Stands. He even starts singing.
I don't even
He
think
tells
you can
them
do
to
stuff
up
like
the
this
winds
in
and to
current day.
capsize him. But the dude controlling it refuses to, knowing it could potentially kill Truman. So Christoph does it himself. Powerful waves come crashing down on
Yeah,
Truman's
Christoph
boat
don't give a crap.
over and over and over again. Christoph eventually calls off the waves, but it looked like it was too late. Until he's alright. He survived somehow. Probably got some fractures though. Now with no one trying to stop him, Truman sails all the way till he runs into a wall, realizing the sky was really just a painted studio wall the whole time. Her theory that the sky is some sort of painting / hologram thing. I'm still working out the kinks. Truman walks along the
Yeah, I don't
water
know how
until
that
he
would
finds
work.
a staircase that leads to an exit sign. Truman Burbank, more like Truman Skywalker. Am I right, fellas? But before he can walk out, Christoph starts speaking to him. He tells him the truth about how he's in a TV show and he's the star, and he also tells him that he knows him better than anybody else, and that he knows that he doesn't want to leave. He's too scared to. And Truman delivers the perfect response that nobody was expecting. In case I don't see ya.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
And then he just leaves. To where?
What a
I have
cold
clue.
outro,
The movie
Truman.
ends with Sylvia running out to look for Truman. Does she even know where she's going? And these two
Yeah,
dudes
for real.
watching as the Truman Show cuts transmission for the first time ever. And then they're like, well, what else they got on? Let's check. As you guys can see, this movie is very, very scary. Or at least the concept is. And it's very worthy of the title, The Scariest Movie I've Ever Watched.
What an absolute banger. That movie's an incredible movie. I would recommend you guys go watch it. It is an absolute banger. And I mean, I could see why some people could call it a scary movie. I mean, it's pretty terrifying. Like if you were to put yourself in those shoes, man, shout out Derek FDB. Fantastic YouTuber, love his voiceovers. But yeah, that was The Truman Show. Scariest movie I've ever watched. That'd be crazy. But I mean, it'd be crazy how someone would pull that off. But absolute banger. Absolute banger.